The stars are right, and that means it's time for another episode of The Whisperer in Darkness. I am your host, the manfromleng. Thank you very much for joining me today. On this episode, we are continuing with our campaign of Roland Banks and Joe Diamond. They are tackling the doom of Eztli. They had a pretty good run through the Untamed Wilds. And so we are going to continue with that campaign and see how it goes today. Tough scenario. We'll see how a couple of city slickers do under my my guidance. It's going to be challenging to keep everything straight, but I think with the chat's help, we'll be able to do it. Hi, Tim. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. Stuck in a boring hospital meeting. Well, I hope I can keep you entertained during that. We are going to, first off, I just want to thank the patrons who are making this stream possible. Couldn't do it without you. We've got a new patron here, Robert, I believe it's Boot or Bout. Robert joined just the other day and signed up, and just want to thank him for his support of the stream and all the Arkham horror content. Welcome, John. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. We are playing the Doom of Eztli today, and I will post a link to the chat in the chat if you haven't become a patron and would like to head over to the address on the screen and support the channel. I always appreciate it. And you can get your name in the lights here at the opening of videos. We have the Doom of Eztli to deal with. We have Roland Banks and Joe Diamond. Here is the Roland Banks deck as it stands. He earned 6 experience points during the Untamed Wilds. So we decided to spend that on a couple copies of Beat Cop and a couple copies of Pathfinder. Pathfinder is going to be huge in this particular scenario because we really need to be moving quickly in order to defeat it. So we will need that extra movement whenever we can get it. Now, I did briefly consider putting Esoteric Atlas in that spot. Esoteric Atlas was just came out in the Union and Disillusion Mythos pack, and it is good in scenarios like the Doom of Eztli where you have to backtrack and you're able to, you can move to those that connecting location 2 locations away. Unfortunately, I just think Pathfinder is more versatile and generally better in a bunch of different scenarios than something like Esoteric Atlas, which is only good in certain scenarios. So we decided to just stick with the tried and true Pathfinder, and hopefully that will help us beat the timer on this particular scenario. We also added Alejandro Vela to this deck. Now, I wasn't sure whether to put him in Roland's deck or Joe's deck. I ultimately decided to go with Roland, simply because his allies are more disposable than Joe's. Joe really wants to get his Dr. Mylan Christopher down and hang on to that. And Joe didn't quite have enough experience points to pick up a charisma this early. So Alejandro will go in Roland's deck. He does have the 2 copies of Calling in Favors to help him cycle those allies. Hi, Marco. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it today. Really looking forward to this game. And in place of those 2 cards, we did remove the 2 copies of Beat Cop Level 0, as well as the 2 copies of Taunt. Let's switch over to Roland's Joe Diamond's deck here. Joe Diamond only earned 4 experience points because he did have his unsolved case in play at the end of the game. Unfortunately, if you'll remember, we drew that. I believe it was on turn number 1, so we really didn't have a chance to deal with it. So we only got the 4 experience points. It was tough to decide what to spend it on. Obviously, higher education is always going to be an extremely tempting purchase for somebody like Joe Diamond, who wants that willpower as well as that intellect. But spending 3 experience points on that would only give me 1 to play with, and I really wanted to get the 2 copies of Pathfinder in this deck for this particular scenario. So, oh, the face cam is coming. I only have it set up on the Octagon side, so it'll be there as soon as we swap over to Octagon here shortly. We've got, so I decided to go with Pathfinder and the Death 13 card that was came out in the Circle Undone that adds an additional intellect skill icon. Always good for somebody with Joe Diamond. No, John, Roland is the lead on this one. Well, I guess I could swap it. But I've been playing Roland as the lead investigator just to make it easier. What else? No other changes. We simply removed the flashlights for the Death 13 card, as well as we removed the Inquiring Minds for Pathfinder. So we'll have to see how this goes. Here is a summary of the campaign so far. Roland Banks has medicine, torches, and the pendant. Joe has a blanket, binoculars, and chalk. Joe also has the poisoned weakness in play because he did not begin the campaign with any medicine to his name. The investigators cleared a path to the Eztli ruins. Alejandro followed the investigators into the ruins. Ichtaka is wary of the investigators because we did kill her. I think that's probably one of the first times I've ever decided to kill her, but it was easier, and I believe we have 2 tally marks under Yig's Fury, so we are going to want to try to keep that as low as possible. There is a chance in this scenario that we could add, I believe it's 10 if we just burn down the temple, so that's always a possibility. But otherwise, we are just going to try to beat this as quickly as possible. We do have the torches, which should help us at the beginning with the nasty treacheries that are in the exploration deck. We are set up and ready to go here in Octagon. Welcome, Regis. Glad you could make it. We are set up. We have, I need to add, everybody took a physical trauma, I believe it was, at the end of the last scenario. Roland has no blanket. Somebody, or maybe did I mistake it? Oh, maybe I screwed it up. Is the, I forget what these things do now. You've got me confused, John. So we will go into this you're throwing me here. I'm gonna check this just to make sure. Want to make sure we've got this right because we had I think it's the binoculars that that give you the experience points. Yeah, John, that's right. He has no blanket. That's why he took the physical trauma. Joe took the physical trauma from being poisoned. Hi, CryoShark. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it today. I'm doing great. Thank you very much for asking. We are playing some Arkham Horror LCG, which is always great. Hopefully the stream goes a little better than yesterday's Sinking City stream where we had some hiccups. I think this Octagon is requires a lot less resources than the Sinking City, though. So, yeah, the binoculars gives the XP. The blanket is the trauma. So, Agenda 1A, something stirs. This agenda has +1 Doom threshold, so we're at a Doom threshold of 8. And into the ruins we will need 3 clues per investigator in order to advance, so we will need 6 clues. We were playing the Doom of Eztli on standard difficulty. The skulls are -1, and we have 1 tablet in the deck. It's -X, where X is the number of locations with Doom on them. Obviously we want to try to keep Doom off locations if at all possible. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you're sick, Cryo Shark. So sit back, relax, and we'll play a game here together. And the elder thing is a we reveal another token, and if we fail, we place one doom on our location. So we want to try to keep the doom off our locations, if at all possible. Joe is poisoned to start this scenario, so any of those, what is it? The creeping poison is the one that surges and will damage us. So we'll just have to see how we do. I think we're ready to start and draw our opening hand, so we will do that now. Let's go with Roland first off. He gets a machete, that's a good start, a logical reasoning, a vicious blow, a shortcut, and an inquiring mind. That's a pretty decent opening hand. We will mulligan the logical reasoning, and I think we'll mulligan the inquiring mind. We'll keep the rest. There is an art student, so there is a clue and another machete. So we've got a backup machete in case we run into any of those treacheries that nuke our assets. So a good starting hand for him. Let's see how Joe does. He gets a Pathfinder. There is Death, 13. That's going to start in play. We get a shortcut as well. There's an evidence and a deduction. We'll get rid of the evidence. I'm going to keep the shortcut, the Pathfinder. That's going to start in play. That's very nice. And we'll keep the deduction because we need to get the clues off those locations quickly before they flip to doom. I believe it's Ancient Halls or whatever. And we get to take the initiative, so that will help us. That will help protect us from any nasty treacheries in the deck. All right, well, Joe gets a Death 13 starts in play, so he will be a 2-5-4-2 to start the game off. That is awfully sweet. And I think we're ready to go. So we will... I think Roland is going to go first here. We will play... let's play our machete first. Then we will... I think we'll play our art student to grab a clue. And protect our machete in case we draw something nasty. Yeah, this is a dramatic nail biter. It's hard to beat unless you have cards like Elusive and Astral Travel in your deck. I think I'm going to use the action on the entryway to check the top two cards of the exploration deck and discard some treacheries if possible. So we'll shuffle this up. There is a treachery, and there is not a treachery. So this final mistake will be discarded. Nice to see that out of the way. I believe there's a Crypt Chill, though, that we want, as well as, of course, the Entombed. That is particularly nasty. I think both these investigators can deal with it, but... not the agility. They can't do it with agility. They'll need to do it with combat for sure. Okay, so that was Roland's turn. Joe is going to play his Pathfinder. We'll get that down first right away. Then we will... let's grab this other clue. So we are going 5 versus 2. I like those odds. Chaos Bag says a Elder thing. That's going to be reveal another token, and if you fail, place a doom. So let's go reveal another token. We'll look at the top token. It's a 0, so no problem there. Yeah, double short. Like, you need every movement trick in the book to speed through this one if you can. So that will get us a clue. So 2 clues of 6. Now, if we If we draw the ancient... I'm trying to think of the ancient... is it ancient hall? That's the one that flips. The other one we would need to succeed by more than 2. So we could go exploring here. I don't really have much else to do with Joe. We just have one action remaining. I think I'm just gonna... Oh, we need a hunch card before I forget. There, we've got a Preposterous Sketches. That's actually... we might play that. Let's actually play that. That is going to be... I believe it's -2. Someone reminded me that he does get to play his hunch cards at -2. So we get to play that for free, and we will draw 3 cards. There's a second Pathfinder. Oh, that's sweet. And we get a magnifying glass and an evidence. So good start for Joe. Double Pathfinder, if we could get that down, that would really save us a lot of time this game. And we've got a shortcut, so we've got a lot of movement options there. Alright, that is going to be the investigation phase. And... whoops, what's going on here? Alright. So we will go to the Mythos Phase. Oh, what's going on here? Something's going wrong here. There we go. Alright, now we're cooking. Alright, so we go to Upkeep. Joe Diamond draws a Vicious Blow. That will be helpful for Roland. And Roland draws his second copy of Shortcut. So we've got all of our movement, almost all of our movement options in our hands. That's very nice. Hi Vase, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it today. Yeah, this is no joke. This is a toughie. So we may end up just blowing up the temple if we don't make it through this the first time. We go to the Mythos Phase. We add a Doom. And we will draw our first encounter card. Roland is our lead investigator, so he will draw... There is Final Mistake. Test 2 2 agility. This test gets +1 difficulty for each doom on your location. If you fail, take 2 damage. We are just going 2 versus 2 on that one, so we have no help. I don't think Joe has anything that he can use. Nope, doesn't look like it. We're not going to pitch any of our movement cards to this, so we're just going straight up. Chaos Bag gives us a tentacle anyway, so that was... we were bound to fail that one, so we'll take the 2 damage. Fortunately, Roland has 9 health, so... Alright, it is Joe's turn. Joe is going to draw... There is a Fang of Yig. So we draw in our first enemy. Fang of Yig is 3 fight, 3 health, and 3 evade. Humanoid monster serpent. Its prey is poisoned investigators. It has retaliate, and while the Fang is engaged with a poison investigator, that investigator cannot play cards or commit cards to skill tests. Okay, well, we get our 3 actions. Joe will draw his hunch card, which is logical reasoning. That's not going to be all that helpful. We do have a clue, but we don't need to heal horror. I think Roland's going to go first. We are going to engage the Fang of Yig. I think we'll commit our Vicious Blow to that. So we are going to hit it for 3 damage, and we are a 5 versus 3. Do we have anything over here that we want? No, we don't. So we're going 5 versus 3. Chaos Bag says +1, so that will be plenty. So the Fang of Yig goes down in 1 shot. Hi Matthew, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. That was our first and second action. I think Roland will also use the action on the The torch. Let's look at the top 2 cards and see if we can't get rid of some more of these. There's the Crypt Chill. And so we got rid of a Crypt Chill. That's good. So our 2... Hi Marcin, welcome to the stream. This is a pack that I put together myself. So this is one that I built myself. It's not the one that is I think the group that oversees Octagon has fallen behind in terms of releasing the Mythos packs. This is just a quick and dirty version that I put together for myself so I could play. So that is all 3 actions. It is Joe's turn. Joe is going to go exploring as his first action. Alright, so we explore. There is Entombed. Alright, well, we drew that right off the bat. Entombed, we put it into play in our threat area. We cannot disengage from enemies or move. We need to test Agility 4 to escape or Combat 4 to break out. If you succeed, discard Entombed. If you fail, reduce the difficulty of this skill test by 1. So we do have take the initiative. It will lose a... Oh, by any investigator. Okay, so we can't use that. That sucks. So we're going to have to try to break out using combat. We're going to be 4 versus 4 for our second action. Chaos Bag gives us a -5, so that was a big fail. Now we are going 4 versus 3 because the difficulty drops by 1. 4 versus 3, we get a tentacle. There's our second tentacle of the game. 2 turns and 2 tentacles, so that will be the end of Joe's turn, unfortunately, and he is unable to get out of the Entombed. So hopefully we can do that next turn. We do have this take the initiative, so as long as Joe goes first, he will be able to hopefully break out. That is the investigation phase. We go to Upkeep. We draw a second copy of Death 13 for Joe. And Roland draws an Overpower. We go to the Mythos phase. We should go to the Mythos phase. There we go. So we need to shuffle in the Logical Reasoning back into the Hunch deck. All right. Have we done everything we need? I think so. Okay, Roland is first up. He is going to be... Matthew, the Chaos Bag. Actually, the Chaos Bag isn't that bad, I find, at the beginning of this campaign. I just seem to be drawing a lot of bad tokens, a -5 and 2 tentacles off the bat. I don't think the Chaos Bag is that bad right now. So Roland is going to draw an Ancestral Fear. It's Peril Surge, and you must choose to place a doom on your location and discard Ancestral Fear or add it to the victory display. We will add it to the victory display. We are not putting doom on locations. It will surge into a Creeping Poison. Each investigator who is poisoned takes a damage. So that will be Joe. That also surges. Surge Train is leaving the platform. We get a Deep Dark. We put Deep Dark into play. No more than 1 clue may be discovered from each location by each investigator each round. Alright, so we're gonna have to... we will have to... we're only gonna get a clue at each location. Joe is going to grab a Snake Scourge. We put it into our threat area. If we are poisoned, it gains Surge. Oh man, how many encounter cards are we going to draw this turn? We treat each of our non-weakness item assets as blank. So Death is blank, and then we have to... we draw another card, and it is going to be a Tear in Time. Test 3 willpower. For each point you fail by, you either lose an action or take a horror. Do we have something that we can pitch to that? The The only thing we've got is take the initiative, but I don't want to use that. So we are going to... We do have logical reasoning in our deck, so we're just going to go... I think we're going 2 versus 3, so potentially lots of horror here. It's a skull, that's a -1, so we only take 2 horror. So that's not the worst. Alright, we drew a lot of encounter cards that particular turn. Joe will go first, I think, this time. Let's get his hunch card out here. It is going to be a Working the Hunch. So we can play that for free and grab a clue. Unfortunately, Deep Dark will prevent that. So we could play Working the Hunch for free, but that's all we're going to get. Let's try to break this Entombed. We are going 4 versus 4, but we do have a Take the Initiative, so we can go 7 versus 4. Chaos Bag will say a tablet. That's -X, where X is the number of locations with Doom on them. There are no locations with Doom on them. So that will simply, we manage to break out of the Entombed. Good stuff. Okay. Now, that was our first action. Second action, we got rid of quite a few of the treacheries in the deck, so we are going to start exploring again. Let's go to... Oh, we draw the other treachery. Well, look at that. Choose a location where there is at least 1 investigator. Place 1 doom on that location. Each investigator at the chosen location takes 1 horror. So we end up taking a... we put a doom in play, and everybody takes a horror. That is 3 horror in 1 turn for Joe Diamond. That is rough. That was our second action. Third action, we are going to explore again, and we finally get a location. Unfortunately, it is not connected to our... we get Underground Ruins. That is not connected. We are looking for the 2 locations that are connected. That one is connected. The Grand Chamber. Those will go back into the deck. So Joe moves to the Grand Chamber. The Grand Chamber has 2 clues on it. And it has the forced effect. It has the forced effect. When you investigate Grand Chamber and you do not succeed by at least 2 before resolving any other effects, we flip 1 clue on Grand Chamber to its doom side. Well, we do have a good thing we did draw that Working the Hunch this turn, because we can play that for free using Joe's ability to grab a clue off that location. So good stuff there. Alright, it's Roland's turn. Roland can... More than 1 clue may be discovered from each location by each investigator. So Roland can discover a clue at the Grand Chamber if he has some help, because he's only a 3 intellect. So we will need to grab... He will need to be... He needs to succeed by at least 2. So that's a 4. Well, maybe we'll just have to leave it for Roland, or for Joe to do. Joe doesn't have a lot to give him, so let's... I guess we will move. What else do we have? We can... If we explore, we could get the ancient... Yeah, I didn't really pay much attention to Vengeance during my first run through with Ursula, John. I didn't end up... I only took like 3 or 4 in the whole campaign, and I think it matters the most when you get to Depths of Yoth. Obviously, as little as possible is always good, but sometimes you can't avoid that. Now, Roland could explore, or we could try to... we can just draw some cards. I sort of want to explore. get some more locations on the table so Joe can use that that Pathfinder of his. Yeah, let's explore. We'll shuffle up our exploration deck. No, I don't think we need to. We just draw. So, oh yeah, we had to because we drew a bunch of locations last turn. Alright, so we are going to explore as our second action. We draw the Underground Caverns. That is not connected. That is the green. We need the Burial Pit. Burial Pit is connected. Alright. So maybe we'll avoid the Ancient Ruins. That would be nice. Or Ancient Halls, or whatever it's called. Burial... Oh, this is the bad one, though, because you have to get... this is the one where you end up with drawing encounter cards, I believe. After you put Burial Pit into play, by exploring successfully, you must either draw 2 cards from the top of the encounter deck or place 2 Doom on Burial Pit or any combination thereof. Hi Chris, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it today. We just started in on the Doom of Eztli. Roland has 1 action remaining. And we are going to be drawing 2 encounter cards because there's no way in hell that I am putting Doom on locations. We've already got 1, and we don't want to put any more. So our first encounter card is going to be Lost in Time. Shuffle a non-story asset you control into your deck, moving all damage and horror from that asset to your investigator. If no asset is shuffled into your deck by this effect, choose and discard 3 cards from your hand. That's fine. We can shuffle the art student back in. We can get her back later to maybe discover another clue. So that was okay. It's just once we have to deal with the Burial Pit. So our next card is going to be a Tear in Time. Test 3 willpower. For each point we fail by, we lose an action or take a horror. We do have 1 action remaining, so we could lose that if necessary. We are 3 versus 3. See what the Chaos Bag has to say. -5. Wow. So that is going to be 3. We're going to take 3 horror, or so we can lose 1 action, and we can take 2 horror. So we are going to want those logical reasonings back. Sooner than later. Both of our guys have taken quite a bit of horror already. Okay, well, that was our turn. We have another location in play, so that's great. We have 3 clues out of the 6, and we have 3 on the table, so we're doing okay as far as clues go. Deep Dark will disappear at the end of the round. And I think we're just moving on here. We got... There is a Vicious Blow for Roland and a Magnifying Glass for Joe. So Joe has a couple of Magnifying Glasses. We can actually play both of those if necessary. We can boost his intellect way up there. Good stuff. Okay, well, we're going to the Mythos Phase. So the Snake Scourge will go away, as will the Deep Dark. Roland is drawing first. Roland will get a Fang of Yig. So the Fang of Yig shows up. Fortunately, we do have the tools necessary to kill that guy. And Joe's card is going to be... Oh, there's the Serpent of Yoth. Oh, dear. Oh, what rotten cards we're getting here. Too many enemies to deal with. The Serpent, while there is 1 or more Vengeance point in the victory display, the Serpent gains Retaliate. So he has Retaliate right now because there's an Ancient Fear in the victory display. Boy, killing this guy is going to be rough. We may not even make it out here on the first attempt. We've just drawn bad stuff here. So Joe and Roland is going to have to kill... Yeah, Roland's just no... Yeah, Matthew, the encounter deck is just throwing everything at us here. It's really bad stuff. I was really hoping to not see the Serpent at this time. We're going to have to deal with the Serpent and then probably have to deal with the Harbinger. So we will need, we're going to need a lot of tools to do this. Now, can Roland kill either of these? We need to think of a plan here. Roland can take a couple whacks at the Fang. Neither of these investigators is in any shape to tank a Serpent at this time, though, unfortunately. That combo that wiped out our art student, plus taking that horror from the Terran time, really hurt us last turn. We can kill the Fang. Joe might have to just tank this thing, or we might be able to... Joe just doesn't have anything to kill it with here. We don't really have anything to evade it with either. That's not good. Okay, well. Let's see what if the Hunch deck has any help for us. Hunch deck gives us a No Stone Unturned. That isn't going to help us very much. So basically, Joe would have to tank this thing for a turn. We don't have a lot of... Roland was able to engage it. No, Roland can't tank it, so Joe has to tank it. Bad news. Okay, well, Roland has to deal with his Fang first. So we will commit the Vicious Blow to try to kill the Fang. We are going 6 versus 3. Chaos Bag says +1, so the Fang will die. So we've dealt with him. Now, how do we deal with this guy? That is bad. Joe could hit it once. Yeah, Roland can help him, but he can't. He can get there in a turn. If I shortcut over, that gives me 2 actions. I can take 2 swipes at it with... The problem is I fail once and he retaliates and kills me. That is the bad news here. I can't deal enough damage to him this turn to kill him. But we could hit him for 3. Oh, we might be able to do it. We might be able to do it. It's risky. We have a few cards though, so let's Roland's got to play his shortcut to shortcut back over here for free. Okay, he shortcuts. He's got 2 attacks. Joe has a Vicious Blow, so we could hit him for 2 plus another one from Roland, and then Joe would have to hit him twice, and we could kill him in 1 turn, but we'd have to throw everything we've got at him. We need to save that overpower. So Roland would be going 5 versus 3. He'd be going 6 versus 3 with the vicious blow. So Roland commits the vicious blow, so we're going 6 versus 3. So we're really at the Chaos Bag's mercy here. If we draw badly, the Serpent will retaliate and kill us. Chaos Bag says... I can't even read it. Did we get a +1, I think? I think we drew a +1. I did hit it. I just can't see my... Can't see what I drew there. I'm not sure why this is in the road. Alright, well... maybe if I just going to discard this, maybe it will... Yes, I did draw a +1. Okay, good stuff. Alright, so I did draw a +1, so we do hit the Serpent for 2 damage. Now, Joe needs to hit it one more time, or sorry, Roland does, and then we can... what can Roland do here? He's got to go... he's going 5 versus 3. Is -2 enough? And then we have the machete and the overpower that we can commit to Joe, so he would be at 6. Yeah, we're really at the mercy of the Chaos Bag here. We just don't have enough stuff. So we go 5 versus 3. What does this give us? Locations with Doom. So the skulls are -1. The tablets are -1. All right, we're gonna go 2 versus. We're gonna go 5 versus 3. At the mercy of the Chaos Bag. Chaos Bag says another +1. Chaos Bag is being extremely generous right now. Yes, it was a +1. So we do manage to hit it for another damage. Can we do this? All right, that was Roland's turn. Joe's turn. He's a 4 versus 3, but we do have an overpower to commit to it. So he can go 6 versus 3. Chaos Bag says... What is going on with the +1s? Oh my god. I have the Chaos Bag. I've never had that happen before. The Chaos Bag is just like... Here is a +1, and here's you get a +1, and you get a +1, and you get a +1. I will take the +1, all the +1s I can get. There's another damage on the Serpent. We have 1 damage to go, and Roland only has 1 card to commit to this. Joe does not have anything he can throw, so we are going... Yeah, I'm waiting. Well, we did draw 2 tentacles in the first 2 turns, so I think I'm due for some good luck. We are going 5 versus 3. Chaos Bag. There's the tentacle. There's the 3rd tentacle. There is the 3rd tentacle. So we will take... He is going to retaliate for a damage and 2 horror. Alright, well, we're at the, yeah, we got 3 +1s, and then they threw a tentacle at us, so this is going to be game right here. If we kill the Serpent, hooray. If we don't, we will simply go down to defeat. So we're going 4 versus 3. The odds are definitely not in our favor. Chaos Bag says... Tablet, that is a -X, where X is the number of locations with Doom on them. 1 location with Doom, we take down the Serpent of Yoth. That was a crazy turn. Holy cow. We kill the Serpent of Yoth, and then we do have an evidence. So we can discover a clue as well. Oh, that was a close one. Boy, that was not looking good when we started that particular turn. Killing the serpent that way, or drawing two enemies and being at two different locations, definitely not good. Yeah, this is rough. I think if we can just make it like, what's the Harbinger? The Harbinger's a 3. He would kill us 2, but we only need to... Oh, we need to hit him 4 times. Holy cow. That is brutal. That is going to be very difficult to do, to hit him 4 times. Yeah, we've used a lot of our resources just to get through that mess. So we will go to the Upkeep Phase. We draw a Steadfast for Joe. That's nice. That's more icons, and we get a Beat Cop. Okay, so that we'll need that Beat Cop down. He is some sanity. We are going to need that sanity to keep on going here, if we can survive this Mythos Phase. That is. Alright, we will go to the Mythos Phase. We have 5 of 8 Doom in play. Roland's card is Serpent's Call. You must either choose put a set-aside poisoned weakness into play in your threat area or draw the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. Man, at this point, I'm going to go with the poisoned weakness, I think. Because I don't want to draw another 2 cards. We'll probably take another physical trauma at the end of this, but we are going to have to just deal with it. Joe's card is going to be the Curse of Yig. He gets -1 combat, -1 health, and the Serpent trait. So at least we've got the health to spare and not sanity. Where is the hunch deck? There we go. Well, we make it through the investigation, or through the Mythos Phase. We have 3 action. We have our 3 actions back. At least we don't have to go through. We don't have to draw more cards with the Burial Pit. We will have to play, I think. Now Roland would go. So we're gonna draw, like when we flip, we're gonna get the Harbinger. We want to be well away from him when he comes out. So we can go, I think what we'll do, Roland wants to do some more exploring, but we want the Beat Cop down first. So let's play the Beat Cop. Beat Cop comes down. We need to draw a card for our hunch. Our hunch this turn is another Working the Hunch. So we can play that for free and get a clue. So we got our Beat Cop down. We are at 6 combat. So we could we need to hit the Harbinger 4 times. So we're gonna need Joe's help to do that. That's gonna be rough because he's -1 combat. Is there a way, do we have anything to get rid of that? We do have a steadfast, but I don't think we have 5 or more remaining health, or I don't think we have 10, that's for sure. 5 or more remaining, we've got 1, and we've got 6. 5, 6, so we've got 6. So steadfast is 2 and 2. It's got 2 of each icon. So we could commit that and get rid of the curse. We're gonna need to get rid of it if we want any chance of killing the, or at least getting rid of the Harbinger, because we do need to attack it 4 times to get rid of it. So Roland will move, and Roland will explore. So he explores and he draws the secret passage. Okay, that's about as good as we could get. Secret passage comes out. It's got 2 clues. 5 shroud location, 2 clues. After you enter secret passage, you must either take 1 damage and horror or place 1 doom on secret passage. If we've got rope, we get to ignore the effect. So we're going to have to place a doom on it for... We're going to have to place a doom on it for Joe, because Joe can't take the horror or damage. We're going to have to do that a bunch. Wow, that's bad. Okay, well, I think we'll take the damage and the horror. So we will go damage and horror. And that will be our turn. Alright. Joe's turn. Joe can Pathfinder to the burial pit. We don't have to do anything at the burial pit. Now we can grab 2 clues there, and that will give us enough to advance. So we can actually play... We can go play both our magnifying glasses for as fast actions to bump our intellect up to... yeah, we do have some healing. We do have logical reasonings. We just need to draw them. That's the trick. We did see one earlier in Joe Diamond's deck. We did see a logical reasoning come out, but it is in his hunch deck, so it's we're sort of at the mercy of that right now. So we get 2 magnifying glasses. They're fast, so we don't have to worry about those. So we're going 7 versus 3. We can commit. We can commit the deduction. Or do we commit the deduction to the secret passage? Maybe the secret passage is better. We can grab 2 clues and move. Okay, so we will... Yeah, let's just investigate. We'll go 7 versus 3. Chaos Bag says skull. That's a -1. So we grab a clue. Whoops. Over here. Let's do it again. Tablet. That's a -1. So we grab another clue. Now we can advance. We're going to wait, though. We don't want the Harbinger out yet. We're going to move. And we're going to play... Okay, now we need to add a Doom to Secret Passage. Whoops. So we added Doom to Secret Passage. Now we can play the Working the Hunch for free to grab a clue there. Okay, so far so good. So we're at 4, 5, 6. 6 of 8. Is that all we can do? So we'll wait until the Upkeep Phase. There is a player window at the beginning of the Upkeep Phase that we can use to advance the agenda, or the act, sorry. So we will do that then. So we will go to the enemy phase. Then at the beginning of the Upkeep, we will spend our clues. In order to advance our act. So we shuffle the set-aside Chamber of Time location into the Exploration deck. Oh, the Harbinger doesn't come out until the agenda advances. So... okay. Oh, we drew a Logical Reasoning. Oh, look at that. Great timing. Way to go, Roland. So we can actually use that on... oh, he'll need a clue, though. Damn it. We'll need a clue to do that. Alright. So we've shuffled the set-aside Chamber of Time into the Exploration deck. Check your supplies. If an investigator has chalk, remove this act from the game, otherwise place it in the victory display. Do we have chalk? Did somebody bring... yes, Joe brought the chalk. Way to go, Joe. So Joe has chalk, so we just get to remove this act from the game. I've never brought the chalk before, so that's a nice treat. So we need 4 clues. We have 1. And we can spend them at the Chamber of Time to advance. Alright, so that is the Upkeep Phase. We are going to the Mythos Phase. 3 damage and 3 horror. Wow, that's rough. We're going to have to go back through this room at least one more time, so... we are at 7 of 8. We have 1 turn to go before the Harbinger shows up. Roland draws a Brood of Yig. That's kind of nice, because we can actually get a clue off him. And Joe will draw the Snake Scourge, which is going to blank him. And it's going to surge into a Brood of Yig. Okay, so we draw double Broods. Alright, well, we knew they were in there somewhere. I believe we only have 1 Vengeance point in the victory display. That is true, we just have 1. So they are 3s. These chumps are 3s. Alright, so we could ding this guy. What do we have over here? He's got a beat cop as well. Okay. We may want... we're definitely going to need Joe Diamond to pull his beat cop. If we can get him out too. So Roland can go... we could... damage... we could kill him in 1 shot. Then engage the Brood. Ping him with the beat cop. Kill him with the machete. Engage. We take a hit. Alright. And then we can gain a clue from the secret passage, freeing up Joe to get moving. Okay, so we're gonna we'll attack him first. So we are going 4, 5, 6 versus 3 with Roland. Chaos Bag says -2, so he will take 2 damage. We can deal 1 damage to the beat cop to kill this guy. When an enemy is defeated, we gain a clue. Yeah, Ursula can be, she's lightning quick, that's for sure. Ursula can be very, very fast. Now we need to engage this brood. And then we can hit it once. We can't kill it though, that's the problem. We could kill it if we're willing to discard our other beat cop. That's a risk. Joe could potentially kill it. So if Joe engages it, Joe will swing at it for 4, 5, 6 versus 3. Chaos Bag says Elder Sign. First one of those this game. We get +1 for each clue, so that doesn't matter. So he will take 2 damage. So that will be his turn. Now Joe can pay 4 resources for the beat cop. God, it's risky. That's 2. Oh, we need a hunch card for Joe. Maybe this will be a logical reasoning. No, it's a no stone unturned. But we can play that for free. Maybe get us another ally. So we've used 1 action. Now, do we ping? Or does Joe just attack? He'd be 4 versus 3. We could pitch a steadfast. Roland can take the damage. He can't take the horror though. So let's we've counteracted the curse. Let's commit the steadfast. That's going to be 2, so we can go 4, 5, 6 versus 3 to kill the other brood. Chaos Bag says -1. Okay, so we have killed the other brood. Joe pitches in and kills one. Alright, so that was his second action. Now we can investigate, or we can go and we can do some. Yeah, the Chaos Bag it's being okay right now, and that run of +1s was I don't think so. I don't think there's any... No, I don't think there's any reason I can't commit cards. There's nothing that stops me from doing that. He just gets +1 for each vengeance point in the victory display. So we can go explore. Let's hope we find the chamber. There is a deep dark. Okay, that's fine. Deep dark comes down. No more than 1 clue. That is not much we can do there. All right. We will go. So this goes back into the hunch deck. At the end of the round. At the end of the round. So we just go to upkeep. We get another deduction, so we're set up to pull all the clues from the chamber. And we are gonna go... Unfortunately, this doom might be bad news for us. We shall see. Because we are going to advance. What did Roland get? He got a beat cop. Okay, so that gives us another... That gives us a combat skill icon. We may need that. Okay, let's go to the Mythos Phase. So we get to discard Deep Dark and Snake Scourge. We are advancing. We have 8 Doom in play. So we spawn the Harbinger of Velusia at the location with the most Doom. Well, we have 2 locations with 1 Doom, so he can go to the entryway. That will give us some time. I don't think we can take him right now. I think it would be suicide to do that. We are at 4, 5, 6 versus 3. We'd need to hit him 4 times. 6 versus 3 3 times, and then 4, 5, 5 versus 3 once. That seems pretty... That's a lot of risky play there. He will chase us, though. We have some time. All right. We'll worry about him later. I want to try to get to the chamber here. So that's that. So we have a Doom threshold of 14 on the Temple Warden. Joe is the lead investigator, so he will draw a card. He gets another Brood. And Joe draws a final mistake. Test 2 agility. This gets +1 difficulty for each Doom on your location, so it's going to be 3 agility. He's going to be taking 2 damage, it looks like. The Chaos Bag gives him a 0, so he will take 2 damage. He's still alive, not by much though, with that Curse of Yig in play. Alright, well, we can kill this Brood in 1 shot with Roland. Yeah, no problem, Base. I just double checked to make sure there was nothing that could hurt us. Let's attack this Brood. There is still only 1 in the victory display, I believe. So we are at 3 versus 4, 5, 6 versus 3. Chaos Bag says -3. That is just a hit. 4, 5, 6 minus 3 is 3. Yes, so he takes 2 damage, and then we will ping him with the Beat Cop to do another damage. So this guy will go away. Roland is going to... Yeah, the 2 damages. Joe just doesn't have the... well, he does have a logical reasoning, which we may want to play. Or we may want to save it for the second beat cop. I'm not sure. If we play... well, I think we've got to play the logical reasoning now on Joe, just in case, because he could die basically at any minute here. So we will play the logical reasoning as our second action, I believe. We killed the Brood, played the logical reasoning to heal 2 horror on Joe. So he's back okay. We will go we will go exploring. And we will just draw a card. There is the Chamber of Time. Okay, so we found the chamber. 4 shroud location with 4 clues. After chamber enters play, attach the set aside relic of the ages to it and place 1 doom on it. So the relic is there and we place a doom on it. So that's okay. We're there pretty early. We've got 4 clues and we have 4 clues. And alright. It's Joe's turn. What can Joe do? Joe can Pathfinder for free. Now we can double deduction here. We can double deduction and grab 3 clues with 1 action. So we will go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 versus 4. Chaos Bag says -2. So we managed to grab 3 clues with the 1 action. Now we can advance if we want. But advancing doesn't do us any good. So when we advance, we reorder everything. So the Harbinger is going to stay where he is. He's going to go to the Grand Chamber. The Secret Passage would probably stay where it is. I mean, maybe what happens is we just... Yeah, the both beat cops does help a lot. I'm wondering if I may just need to sacrifice one of them. Like, say, if Roland tanks the Harbinger for a turn so Joe can get out. I'm wondering if that might be what we need to do. Joe's got another Pathfinder, but we don't have the resources for it. Let's investigate again, grab this other clue. So we are going 4 versus 5, 6, 7. Chaos Bag gives us a 0, so we grab all the clues there. Now, if we have 2 actions remaining, we have an action remaining, and we've got a shortcut. If we reorganize the board now, we'd be able to move 1, and then we'd have to take a damage. Or we can just take a doom. place a doom on the secret passage. We wouldn't have to worry about it. What is... Roland's got a shortcut, so he could catch up. Because I'm thinking what I may need to do... I don't think I've got the goods to take out the Harbinger, but I'm thinking if I sacrifice Joe, or sorry, Roland, Joe could get out and resign, and we could sort of get a little bit of a victory out of it. They're both hurting pretty bad, and we used a lot of our tools to get through. I'm just glad that we don't have to deal with the Serpent of Yoth now. We did get rid of him, so that is nice. That's a nice feeling. Well, let's advance. We spend 4 clues. They're each going to keep a clue because Roland does have Inquiring Mind in his deck, so having or that's at your location, so that's not going to help. But he does need... hi Brandon, welcome to the stream. Glad you could join us today. We are making our way through through the Doom of Eztli. Yes, it is a nasty, nasty piece of work. Alright, so we choose an investigator in the chamber to take control of the relic. I don't think it matters who, but Joe's going to be the one. Move the placement of each location to form a straight line with the chamber on the left and the entryway on the right. So chamber on the left, entryway on the right. Then we have to... each other location is placed from left to right in between these two locations in order of how much doom is on them from lowest to highest. So the secret passage actually goes here. So the Grand Chamber and the Burial Pit go in between, and the secret passage will be at the end. Okay. Oh, thank you very much, Brandon. Thank you very much for the kind words. I do enjoy creating the content, and having people tune in for these streams makes it all worthwhile, so thank you very much. Thanks for everybody who's showed up today. This has turned out to be a hell of a game. So the Harbinger is going to go here. We can move here as our final action. Alright. So we can go... so now we need to map this out a little bit. Harbinger goes here. We could go 1, 2, 3 and resign. Do we have a shortcut? Now, that's an interesting possibility. 1, 2... pulls the Harbinger back with shortcut. Resign. Because the Harbinger would come with us back to the entryway, and then we could resign with Joe next turn, if I count this out properly. Pathfinder for 1. Moves to Serpent's Secret Passage. We engage the Harbinger. We play shortcut. We move to entryway. We resign, and he gets out. I think that's the plan. And then Roland's got to fend for himself. Sorry, Roland. How can Roland do it? Roland could also do it if he could get... if he can get to Burial Pit, maybe? He goes... moves to Secret Passage, engages Harbinger, moves back to entryway, resigns. So we can do this. We can get them both out. It's just going to be a matter of what we draw in the encounter deck. So we go to the enemy phase. The Harbinger moves. We go to Upkeep. There we go. Okay, we get a Calling in Favors for Roland. That's got an agility icon. That could be helpful. Beat Cop also has an agility icon. So we could get him up to 4 agility, but we may not need to. And Joe gets his detective gun, his detective Colt 911s. All right, let's see. It's all going to hinge on this next Mythos phase. Roland, he draws an Obscuring Fog. Oh, that's a whiff. That's a huge whiff. All right, Joe, what do you get? Joe gets another Curse of Yig. Oh, he's got 1 life left. He has 1 life left. Wow. All right, so we get our 3 actions. All right, so let's get Joe out first because he's going to die otherwise. We Pathfinder for free. Spend an action to move. We need to add a Doom due to Secret Passage. That's fine. We've got plenty of Doom to spare. I think this really helped us because we ended up with a very short run. Shortcut. So the Harbinger engages us. We shortcut to the entryway and we resign. We're out. So Joe is out with the relic and 2 Curses of Yig. He had 1 health left. Okay, now it's Roland's turn. Roland can get here. He did, Vase. He made it. He absolutely made it. We're gonna win this thing. The City Boys are gonna win this thing. I'm convinced. All right, so we need no attack on Resign. Resign is immune from attacking. You don't take an attack of opportunity on a Resign action, Brandon. So it's free and clear. Joe or Roland can go 1, 2. We need. So he's gonna move here. We're gonna go 1, 2. Resign. Is there anything we can do? Do we play the Calling in Favors? Choose an ally asset you control. Maybe? No, we're going to keep the Beat Cop. I think we'll keep the Beat Cop. I'm not going to draw a card because I don't want to draw a cover up. We'll just take the we'll take a resource and that'll be our turn. Enemy phase. Yeah, that was a huge whiff on the encounter deck's part. We draw an Overpower. And this guy is here now. Boy, those shortcuts are going to be my lifesaver here. If we can get through this last... We have 1 Mythos phase to get through, and we can win this thing. Let's do that now. We add a Doom to the Temple. We're at 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 14. Let's see what the Mythos or the encounter deck has for us. Oh, you see that whiff? You see that whiff? The obscuring fogs come right at the perfect time. After all of that crap we had to deal with at the beginning, we draw 2 obscuring fogs at the right time. Roland gets his 3 actions. Roland moves. He engages the Harbinger. We play our shortcut. We move to the entryway. And we resign. And Roland and Joe do it. Woo! That was incredible. What a fantastic game that was. Wow. Wow. That was fantastic. When we drew that Serpent of Yoth, the Serpent of Yoth, when we drew those 2 enemies, I thought that we were toast. We somehow managed to skate by the skin of our teeth with just like no life and no health to our names, and then we get some very favorable draws at the end of the scenario with the 2 obscuring fogs coming out, and we notch a victory. Wow. No, it wouldn't. You need to attack it, John. You need to attack the Harbinger. Putting a damage on it with the Beat Cop doesn't actually do anything. Well, it would, actually. We could do that. We could have put 2 damage on it. I guess that depends whether we plan on dealing it 20 damage over the entirety of the... I've never killed the Harbinger, so I never even gave it any thought. I guess we'll do that. We could have easily discarded the 2 Beat Cops and dealt the Harbinger 2 damage. So we'll throw 2 damage on him. 2 of 20, I guess. Maybe we'll be able to kill him at some point down the road, but I've never... I guess the last time I played this this campaign was with Ursula, and Ursula, of course, isn't killing anything. So yeah, a great game. Great game. Thanks very much, Chris. That was a very fun game to play. Very intense there at the beginning, as well as a nice finish. That's right, Matthew. Yig will not be happy with me for beating this scenario, but it's nice to get a clean victory, being able to get out of the temple in one shot rather than having to go back in multiple times or having to. But again, I mean, I needed shortcuts. I needed Pathfinder in order to do that, and I'm not sure. This scenario would be extremely difficult to do, I think, without some additional movement tech in your deck. Without Pathfinders, shortcuts, Astral Travel is amazing, Elusive is amazing. All of those cards that help you move are very good. I'm extremely happy that I did not take out the shortcuts in place of Pathfinders. Yeah, I had to take down the Serpent of Yoth. That was not going to be. We couldn't have him hanging on for the entire game. The more enemies you end up with on this line of locations, it just gets impossible to get through. Like I was saying, I'm really happy that I didn't replace the shortcuts with the Pathfinders. That's what a lot of people do, is they'll take out the shortcuts and put in Pathfinders instead. I decided I would need everything, all the movement I could get my hands on to beat this thing, and so we played both, and it did pay off for us. Yeah, Roland being able to shortcut over to that serpent was huge. We wouldn't have been able to defeat all those enemies in one turn, Chris, if we hadn't gotten over there. There were so many moments in this game where we could have easily gone down to defeat. I mean, when we drew that stretch of +1s. That was huge. Couple tentacles early on were setbacks. There were just so many opportunities for us to really get to get into trouble, and we managed to get out of it and notch a victory. So that feels extremely good to end with a victory, and we will be back with Threads of Fate probably Friday. I think I'm going to be streaming again. That will be an interesting scenario. A little better for the City Boys, I think. A little more investigation. Than fighting in that one. So Joe will certainly be in his element. Roland will be able to kill some enemies and probably grab a few clues as well. Just a reminder to everybody that just want to thank the patrons again here for all their support that you give the channel. It's always appreciated. Here they are. We've got Nate, Christopher, Paul, Ben, Brian, Tim, Jared, Nathan, Vase, Calvin, Matthew, and our new patron, Robert. Thanks again for all of your support. If you are not a patron and would like to get your name on the list, I will put a link in the chat for you so you can head over to patreon.com and support what I'm doing here. Your help would always be appreciated. Oh, what's going on? There we go. So the link is in there now. Yeah, it was a great game, and I'm looking forward to bringing you Threads of Fate on Friday. That should be another fantastic game. If you we've got a few minutes left. If you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask, I'd be happy to answer them before we sign off here. And I've got another thing to record too. The next Sinking City stream is going to be tomorrow on Thursday, July 4th. We had a little bit of trouble with the Tuesday stream. For some reason, it kept cutting out. I'm not sure whether that's a result of Streamlabs or my connection. I would like to hardwire my connection. Unfortunately, I am having some trouble with my modem that will not be fixed until Sunday at the earliest. So I am hoping tomorrow's stream will go a little smoother. I may try to dial down the settings a little bit, and to in order to make that stream a possibility. How am I feeling about playing two-handed, John?